Ladies and gentlemen, what an absolutely electric night of World Cup qualifying football we've just witnessed. If you missed the Finland versus Lithuania game, you missed one for the ages. We're talking about an 8-goal thriller, a non-stop roller coaster of drama, and a match that kept us on the edge of our seats from the first minute to the last. Finland walked away with a 5-3 victory, but let me tell you, Lithuania earned every ounce of respect with a performance that was pure heart and fight. For Finland, this wasn't just about securing 3 crucial points. This was a massive statement to the rest of the group. They've just put everyone on notice, showcasing an attacking arsenal that is razor-sharp and ready for the world stage. But for Lithuania, even in defeat, there's so much to be proud of. They displayed incredible resilience and a fighting spirit that never quit, giving their fans every reason to believe in the future of this team. From Finland's early dominance to Lithuania's jaw-dropping comeback and a second half that was pure fireworks, this clash is already being hailed as one of the most entertaining qualifiers of the campaign. The match kicked off at a blistering pace. Right from the whistle, Finland stormed out of the gates pressing high and making their intentions crystal clear. They wanted to overwhelm Lithuania and take control early. And boy, did they succeed. It only took 10 minutes for their plan to come to fruition. Finland's star playmaker spotted a gap and threaded a perfectly weighted through ball, splitting 2 defenders with surgical precision. Their striker, timing his run to absolute perfection, burst onto the scene, found himself one-on-one with the keeper, and coolly slotted the ball into the bottom corner. The stadium erupted, 1-0 to Finland, and it felt like the floodgates were about to open. Just when Lithuania was trying to find its footing, Finland struck again. Less than 10 minutes after the opener, a slick passing move down the right flank left the Lithuanian defense scrambling. A low, hard cross was whipped into the box, and after a frantic scramble, the ball fell to Finland's winger, who made no mistake, smashing it into the back of the net from close range. At 2-0 inside the first 20 minutes, it looked like this was going to be a one-sided affair. Finland was in dreamland, playing with confidence and flair, and it seemed like they could score every time they went forward. But football, as we know, is a funny old game. Just when you think you have it all figured out, it throws you a curveball. Trailing by 2 goals and seemingly on the ropes, Lithuania refused to lie down. They started to show signs of life, winning more duels in midfield and pushing forward with intent. And then it happened. Against the run of play, Lithuania launched a swift counterattack. A hopeful long ball found their lone striker, who showed incredible strength to hold off a defender, turned and unleashed an absolute rocket from 25 yards out that flew into the top corner. The keeper had no chance. It was a moment of pure individual brilliance that silenced the home crowd and sent the traveling fans into a frenzy. That goal completely changed the complexion of the game. Suddenly, the belief was coursing through the Lithuanian players. They were no longer just defending, they were attacking with purpose. And just before halftime, they delivered the ultimate shock. A corner kick was whipped into the box, and amidst a crowd of bodies, a Lithuanian center-back rose highest, connecting with a powerful header that rippled the net. From 2-0 down to 2-2 in the space of 15 minutes. The Finnish players looked stunned as they walked off for the break. The momentum had completely shifted, and the stage was set for an unforgettable second half. What a comeback! As the teams came out for the second half, the atmosphere was thick with tension and anticipation, and the action did not disappoint. The game became a wild, end-to-end battle, but it was Finland who retook the lead with a moment of magic. Their star player picked up the ball, danced past 2 defenders, and curled a stunning shot into the far corner. 3-2. But Lithuania hit back almost immediately, capitalizing on a defensive error to equalize yet again. 3-3. It was chaos. The game could have gone either way, but Finland's quality eventually shone through. 2 late goals, one from a well-worked set piece and the other a clinical finish on the counter, finally sealed the breathtaking 5-3 victory. What a match! An 8-goal classic that will be talked about for a long, long time. Huge credit to both teams for giving us an absolute spectacle. Finland gets the win, but Lithuania won a lot of hearts tonight. Thanks for tuning in, folks. If you enjoyed this recap, do us a huge favor and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on the action. Until next time, take care. What a start to this match, folks. Right from the opening whistle, you could feel the electricity in the air, and Finland came out absolutely blazing. Their game plan was simple, aggressive, and perfectly executed. Hit Lithuania hard and fast before they could even settle in. And boy, did it pay off. Just 10 minutes on the clock and we witnessed a moment of pure genius. Finland's number 9, with incredible awareness, made a darting run in behind the defensive line. The pass that followed was a thing of beauty, a perfectly weighted through ball that sliced the defense wide open. With ice in his veins, he faced the keeper one-on-one and coolly slotted the ball into the corner of the net. 1-0 to Finland. The stadium absolutely erupted, a sea of blue and white celebrating a dream start. But Finland wasn't done. They could smell blood in the water and kept their foot on the gas. Just 5 minutes later, they were at it again. A blistering, lung-busting run down the right flank left the Lithuanian fullback for dead. The winger looked up, picked his spot, and delivered a sensational curling cross right into the danger zone. And who was there to meet it? The very same striker, rising like a salmon, who met the ball with ferocious power. His header was unstoppable, rocketing past the helpless goalkeeper and into the back of the net. 2-0, 2 goals in just 15 minutes. At this point, Lithuania looked completely shell-shocked. The players stood with their hands on their hips, staring at the scoreboard in disbelief. For their fans, it felt like a potential nightmare unfolding before their very eyes. Finland was in total control, dominating possession, and their attacks were a blur of speed, precision, and relentless pressure. It seemed like the floodgates were about to open, and we could be heading for a rout. But as any true football fan knows, this beautiful game is gloriously unpredictable. It's a game of momentum, of passion, and of heart. Just when you think a team is down and out, they can find a spark from somewhere, a flicker of hope. Lithuania, with their backs against the wall, knew they had a mountain to climb. But giving up? That wasn't in their DNA. The match was far from over, and a surprising twist was waiting just around the corner. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what happens next. If you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more epic football stories. Thanks for watching. Just when it seemed like Finland was about to steamroll their way to victory, something shifted. The tide turned, the momentum swung, and Lithuania roared back to life. You could almost feel the change in the air. Down 2-0, many teams would have crumbled, but not this Lithuanian side. They dug deep, tightened up their midfield, and started to press with a ferocity that caught Finland completely off guard. They weren't just playing defense anymore. They were on the hunt. The breakthrough, the moment that sparked the comeback, came in the 25th minute. It was a gift, really, a moment of madness from the Finnish defense. A sloppy, rushed clearance, the kind that makes a manager tear their hair out, fell perfectly to a lurking Lithuanian forward. He didn't hesitate, didn't think twice. He just leathered it. The ball rocketed past the keeper and bulged the back of the net. 2-1. The away fans erupted. A lifeline. That goal was pure adrenaline. It was like a switch was flipped. Suddenly, Lithuania was a different team. Their passes became crisp and incisive. Their movement off the ball was intelligent and energetic, and you could see the belief flooding back into their eyes. They were no longer just surviving. They were thriving. Finland, on the other hand, looked rattled. The confidence they had just minutes before was visibly draining away. Then, just 10 minutes later, the unthinkable happened. It was poetry in motion. A beautiful, slick 1-2 pass, the kind you practice 1,000 times on the training ground, just sliced right through the heart of the Finnish backline. It was so quick, so precise. The defenders were left looking at each other in confusion. The Lithuanian winger, now one-on-one with the keeper, was the coolest man in the stadium. He didn't panic. He just calmly opened up his body and slotted the ball into the far corner. 2-2. Utter pandemonium. The stadium was stunned into a mixture of shock and awe. Finland's blistering start, their 2-goal cushion, had vanished in the space of 10 breathtaking minutes. Lithuania had clawed their way back from the brink, showing incredible heart and resilience. The game was completely turned on its head. As the halftime whistle blew, the score was locked at 2-2, and you could feel the buzz of anticipation from every single fan. The first half was an absolute roller coaster, and it set the stage for an epic second half. This is why we love this game. Thanks for watching, everyone. What did you think of that incredible comeback? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more football action. See you in the next one. Upbeat, energetic music fades slightly into the background. All right, welcome back, everyone, to what has been an absolutely electric match. We're kicking off the second half, and the tension is palpable. Both teams are storming out of the tunnel, hungry to seize control of this game. Finland, after letting that 2-goal lead vanish, looks particularly determined. You can see it in their eyes. They know they have to come out stronger, and they are doing just that. And who else but the captain to lead the charge? It's the 50th minute, and he's got the ball about 30 yards out. He looks up, he sees the opening, and he just unleashes an absolute rocket. Oh my word, what a strike! The ball dips, it swerves, it's a thing of beauty, and it's in the back of the net. The keeper had no chance. Finland retakes the lead. It's 3-2. You can feel the stadium erupt. That goal is exactly what they needed. That spectacular goal has completely reignited Finland's fire. Suddenly, their confidence is soaring. The passing is sharper, the movement is crisper, and they are relentlessly pushing forward, searching for that crucial next goal. They're playing with a swagger now, pinning Lithuania back in their own half. The momentum has completely shifted. Lithuania is struggling to get a foot on the ball. They're chasing shadows as Finland dictates the pace of the game. Every attack looks dangerous, and you get the sense another goal is just around the corner. And there it is, the 65th minute, and a lightning-fast counterattack. Lithuania was caught completely off guard, pushing too many players forward. Finland breaks with incredible speed, 3-on-2. A beautiful, selfless pass is squared across the box, taking the goalkeeper completely out of the play. It's a simple tap-in, an easy finish to a brilliant team move. Finland extends their lead to 4-2. The teamwork, the vision, the execution. Absolutely textbook. It feels like they might have just put this game to bed. But hold on a second. Just when you think it's over, Lithuania proves they're not done yet. We've got about 15 minutes left on the clock, and they've won a corner. The delivery is perfect, whipped right into the danger zone. It's chaos in the box. Bodies are flying everywhere, a frantic scramble ensues. The ball is bouncing around like a pinball, and amidst the confusion, the Lithuanian striker manages to bundle it over the line. It's 4-3. The comeback is back on. The tension is right back, and this place is absolutely buzzing. Could they possibly do it? The clock is ticking down, hearts are in throats, but Finland has the final say. In the 85th minute, their young rising star, a player we've been talking about all season, decides to produce a moment of pure magic. He picks up the ball on the edge of the area, a little shimmy. He dribbles past one defender, then another with sublime skill. He creates a yard of space and unleashes a low, powerful shot right into the bottom corner. Goal. That is a world-class finish to seal the deal. 5-3 to Finland. What an incredible conclusion to an unforgettable match. Thank you all for joining us for this roller coaster of a game. If you enjoyed the action, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a moment. We'll see you next time. What an absolutely breathtaking match we've just witnessed. The final whistle has blown here at the Helsinki Olympic Stadium, and it S. Finland, who emerged victorious with a staggering 5-3 win over a truly spirited Lithuanian side. This wasn't just a football match, it was an emotional roller coaster, a showcase of pure passion, and a testament to why we call this the beautiful game. From the very first minute, you could feel the electricity in the air. Finland, driven by their dream of reaching the World Cup, came out with all guns blazing. Their attacking play was a joy to watch, fluid, fast, and clinical. They carved open the Lithuanian defense, creating chance after chance, and it felt like every time they went forward, they were going to score. When they raced into that early lead, it looked like it might be a one-sided affair, but that's when the real drama began. Lithuania, to their immense credit, refused to lie down. Staring a heavy defeat in the face, they dug deep and showed incredible character. To come from 2 goals down in an away qualifier under this kind of intense pressure is simply magnificent. They fought for every ball, they ran their hearts out, and they gave their traveling fans moments of pure elation. Scoring 3 goals away from home against a team of Finland's quality is no small feat. It's a performance that proves they are a force to be reckoned with, a team that will never, ever give up. But this was Finland's night. Every time Lithuania clawed their way back into the game, the Finnish players found another gear. They showed a champion's mentality, a resilience that separates the good teams from the great ones. Conceding a goal didn't rattle them. It seemed to fuel them. They responded with more attacks, more pressure, and ultimately more goals. Their ability to weather the storm and reassert their dominance was the key to this victory. This win isn't just 3 points. It's a massive statement of intent on their journey to the World Cup. Let's just take a moment to appreciate what we saw. 8 goals in a single World Cup qualifier. The momentum swung back and forth like a pendulum. There were moments of individual brilliance, incredible team goals, and nail-biting tension right until the final whistle. This is the kind of match that neutrals dream of, a game that will be replayed and talked about for years to come. It was a perfect storm of attacking flair and unbreakable spirit from both sides. So, as the Finnish players celebrate with their ecstatic fans, taking a huge and well-deserved step towards their World Cup dream, let's also give a massive round of applause to Lithuania. They may be leaving with a defeat, but they leave with their heads held high, having earned the respect of everyone who watched this incredible contest. They contributed massively to an unforgettable night of football. What a game! It truly had everything. This is what football is all about. Thank you so much for joining me for this epic encounter. If you loved the drama as much as I did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another moment of the action. Until next time, take care. What a night of football! If you love goals, drama, and non-stop action, you've come to the right place. Welcome back to the channel, where today we're reliving every heart-stopping moment of the incredible UEFA World Cup qualifier between Finland and Lithuania. This wasn't just a match, it was an 8-goal thriller that had fans everywhere completely glued to their screens. From the very first whistle, you could feel the electricity in the air. Both teams came out with a clear intention: to attack, to score, and to win. Finland, playing with the hopes of a nation on their shoulders, were looking for a crucial victory. But Lithuania, they weren't there to just make up the numbers. They came to fight, and fight they did. The match started with a blistering pace, and it didn't take long for the deadlock to be broken. Finland struck first, sending their supporters into a frenzy, but the celebration was short-lived. Lithuania roared back, showcasing their own attacking flair and proving this was going to be a real battle. The first half was a whirlwind of action. Every time one team scored, the other seemed to respond almost immediately. It was like a heavyweight boxing match with both sides trading blows, refusing to back down. The momentum swung back and forth, and by the time the halftime whistle blew, fans were left breathless, trying to process the sheer number of goals and the incredible drama they had just witnessed. You just knew the second half was going to be something special. Both managers would have been in the dressing rooms frantically trying to adjust their tactics. How do you defend against this kind of offensive onslaught? How do you keep your team's spirits high when the game is this chaotic? As the second half kicked off, the tension was palpable. Finland came out looking to regain control, to impose their will on the game and secure the 3 points. They managed to find another gear, stringing together some beautiful passes and creating chance after chance. Their attacking players were on fire, moving with purpose and showing incredible clinical finishing in front of goal. They built a lead that looked for a moment like it might finally be decisive. But if we learned anything from the first half, it was that you can never, ever count Lithuania out. They dug deep, found a reserve of energy, and launched a comeback that had the Finnish defense scrambling. With every Lithuanian goal, you could feel the belief growing in their ranks. They were relentless, pushing forward, creating opportunities, and making this a true nail-biter right until the very end. For the Lithuanian fans, it was a performance filled with pride. Even in defeat, their team showed immense courage, heart, and a never-say-die attitude that defines what it means to be a fighter. They left everything out on that pitch. Ultimately, Finland's quality shone through. They managed to weather the storm and score the decisive goals that sealed the 5-3 victory. It was a statement performance for them, a massive result in their qualifying campaign that demonstrates their attacking power and their ability to handle pressure. What a spectacle! 8 goals, incredible comebacks, and passion from both sides. This match had everything a football fan could ask for. It was a reminder of why we love this game so much: its unpredictability, its drama, and the unforgettable moments it creates. Finland takes the victory, but Lithuania earns immense respect. Thanks for joining me to relive this amazing match. What was your favorite moment? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another highlight. We'll see you in the next one. Alright, let's dive right back into the action. The second half kicked off and you could feel the tension, the electricity in the air. But what happened next? Nobody saw it coming. Indonesia didn't just come out to play, they came out to fight, to rewrite the entire script of this match. They emerged from that locker room like a completely different team, a team possessed by a singular, burning desire to win. Their midfield, which had been under pressure in the first half, suddenly started to click. They were everywhere, winning back possession, spraying passes with newfound confidence, and dictating the tempo of the game. You could see the Saudi players looking around, a little surprised, a little confused. The hunter had become the hunted. And then, in the 55th minute, it happened. A moment of pure, unadulterated magic. An Indonesian midfielder picked up the ball about 30 yards from goal. He took one look up, and with the roar of the crowd urging him on, he just let it fly. It was a missile, a thunderbolt of a shot that seemed to defy physics. The ball soared through the air, curling, dipping, swerving. The Saudi goalkeeper, one of the best in the business, could only watch, frozen in place as it nestled beautifully into the top corner of the net. Goal. 2-2. The stadium didn't just cheer, it erupted. It was a collective explosion of joy, of disbelief, of pure, raw emotion. The ground literally shook as tens of thousands of Indonesian fans screamed their hearts out. But hold on, because the story, this incredible fairy tale, was far from over. Before the echoes of that celebration had even faded, Indonesia struck again. It was like they had bottled lightning. Just minutes later, they launched a counterattack so fast, so precise, it was a blur. A brilliant through ball sliced the Saudi defense wide open. Their striker, with ice in his veins, latched onto it. He was free, one-on-one with the keeper. The whole world held its breath. He took a touch, looked the keeper in the eye, and with the composure of a seasoned veteran, he coolly slotted the ball into the back of the net. Indonesia 3, Saudi Arabia 2. Unbelievable, an absolute mind-blowing comeback, from 2 goals down to leading against the giants of Asian football. The underdogs weren't just barking, they were biting, and they were drawing blood. You could see the belief surging through every single Indonesian player, every single fan in the stands. They were on fire, and for the very first time in this entire match, Saudi Arabia looked rattled. Their world-class defense, usually so solid, was suddenly shaky, disorganized. They were making mistakes, and you could practically see the Indonesian forwards smelling blood in the water. This was it. This was the moment. The atmosphere was no longer just electric. It was transcendent. You could feel history being made with every pass, every tackle. Could this really be happening? Could Indonesia, the passionate underdogs, pull off the upset of the tournament? Could they actually defeat the seemingly invincible Green Falcons? The final stretch of the game was upon us, and absolutely anything felt possible. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey. If you're loving this story as much as I am, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the epic conclusion. Your support means the world. See you in the next one. What's up, football fans, and welcome back to the channel. If you missed tonight's AFC Asian qualifier, you missed an absolute classic. We're talking about Oman versus Qatar, a clash that had everything you could ever ask for in a football match and then some. The stadium was electric, the tension was palpable, and the final scoreline of Oman 3, Qatar 4 tells you this was a night of pure, unadulterated drama. From the moment the first whistle blew, you could feel this wasn't going to be an ordinary game. Qatar, the reigning Asian champions, stepped onto the pitch with their signature confidence and fluid attacking style, looking to stamp their authority early on. But Oman? They came to play. They were fearless, organized, and packed with a fighting spirit that had the entire stadium roaring with every single challenge and every forward run. This wasn't just a match, it was a statement. The first half set the tone for what was to come. It was a tactical chess match mixed with moments of individual brilliance. Qatar's slick passing combinations constantly probed the Omani defense, searching for that killer through ball. But Oman's backline was like a fortress, disciplined and resolute, frustrating the Qatari forwards time and time again. Just when you thought it was a defensive masterclass, boom! The game would explode with a counterattack. Oman used their pace on the wings to perfection, turning defense into attack in the blink of an eye. The first goal felt inevitable, and when it came, the crowd erupted. The seesaw battle had begun. The second half, however, is where this match etched itself into legendary status. It was an end-to-end spectacle, a true roller coaster of emotions. Goals started flying in from both sides. Every time Qatar seemed to pull away, showcasing their clinical finishing, Oman would hit right back with incredible heart and determination. You could see the passion in their eyes. They refused to lie down. Each goal was a testament to their resilience, whether it was a powerful header from a set piece or a beautifully crafted team goal that sliced through the Qatari defense. The momentum shifted back and forth so many times it was impossible to predict what would happen next. With the clock ticking down, the intensity reached a fever pitch. Every pass was crucial. Every tackle was monumental. The atmosphere was simply breathtaking. Players were giving it their absolute all, leaving everything out on the pitch. It was in these final, nail-biting moments that Qatar found their winning goal, a moment of magic that finally broke the deadlock and broke Omani hearts. It was a cruel end for a team that had fought so gallantly, but a deserved victory for a side that kept pushing until the very last second. When the final whistle blew, the scoreboard read Oman 3, Qatar 4. But honestly, the numbers don't do this game justice. This was more than a match. It was an epic saga of skill, courage, and relentless spirit. The Qatari players celebrated their hard-earned victory, while the Omani team received a standing ovation from the crowd for their heroic performance. They may have lost the match, but they won the respect of everyone watching. This game will be talked about for years to come as a true classic of the AFC Asian qualifiers. What a night for football. Thanks for tuning in to relive this incredible match with me. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another update. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comments below. Until next time, take care. Welcome back, football fans, to another thrilling match recap here on the channel. Today, we're diving into the intense showdown between Qatar and Oman, a game that had us all on the edge of our seats from the very first whistle. Right from the kickoff, Qatar came out with a clear mission: dominate. They pushed high up the pitch, pressing Oman relentlessly. Their midfield was absolutely on fire, a blur of motion with sharp, quick, one-touch passes that left Oman scrambling to keep up. It was beautiful to watch, and it didn't take long for their efforts to pay off. Just 10 minutes into the game, a moment of pure brilliance. A perfectly weighted through ball sliced through Oman's defense like a hot knife through butter. Qatar's striker, cool as you like, found himself one-on-one with the keeper and made no mistake, calmly slotting the ball into the back of the net. 1-0 to Qatar. The Qatari fans erupted, and you could feel the momentum building. Oman tried to steady the ship to find their rhythm, but Qatar was having none of it. They smelled blood and went in for the kill. A mere 8 minutes after their first goal, they struck again. A beautiful, curling cross whipped in from the wing sailed over everyone, finding its way to the back post. A Qatari forward rose majestically, meeting the ball with a powerful, clinical header. The net bulged, and just like that, it was 2-0. The Omani supporters in the stands were stunned into silence. 2 goals in under 20 minutes. It was a nightmare start for their team. It looked like this could turn into a rout, that Qatar might just run away with the game entirely. But football is a funny old game, isn't it? Oman wasn't about to roll over. Instead of panicking, they dug deep. They began to fight back. You could see the shift in their body language, the determination in their eyes. Slowly, but surely, their midfield started to get a foothold, winning back possession and stringing together some passes of their own. The crowd sensed the change and roared them on, creating an electric atmosphere. And then it happened. Around the 30-minute mark, Oman launched a brilliant counterattack. Their winger, with blistering pace, tore down the flank, leaving defenders in his wake. He looked up, delivered a pinpoint pass right into the danger zone, and the striker was there to tap it in from close range. The stadium exploded. It was Oman 1, Qatar 2. The comeback was on, and the game was suddenly wide open. What a first half! It had everything: tactical brilliance, stunning goals, and a massive momentum shift. Qatar's early dominance was answered by Oman's incredible resilience, setting the stage for an unforgettable second half. You could feel the tension, the excitement, the belief that anything could happen. This is why we love this sport. Thanks so much for tuning in to this recap. What were your thoughts on that incredible first half? Let me know down in the comments. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. We'll be back soon with more football action. Until next time, take care. What a first half! You could feel the tension crackling in the air as both teams went at it hammer and tongs. Oman, refusing to be intimidated, started pushing back hard, searching for that crucial equalizer. They were throwing everything forward, taking bigger and bigger risks. You could see the hunger in their eyes. They came so incredibly close when a speculative long-range effort absolutely cannoned off the crossbar. The woodwork is still shaking from that one. The home fans were on their feet, sensing a comeback was on the cards. It felt like something truly special was about to happen. But this is where champions are made. Qatar, with ice in their veins, showed exactly why they are considered one of the giants of Asian football. Just as Oman committed more players forward, Qatar saw their chance. They weathered the storm and then, with breathtaking speed, launched a devastating counterattack. Oman's defenders were caught completely off guard, scrambling to get back into position. Before they could even react, the ball was at the feet of Qatar's captain. He didn't hesitate for a second, unleashing a thunderous strike that flew past the keeper and into the back of the net. A clinical, punishing finish to make it 3-1. The timing was just brutal, right on the cusp of halftime. The whistle blew, sending the players into the tunnels with Qatar firmly in the driver's seat. A 2-goal cushion is a powerful thing, and they looked calm and collected. But if you looked closely at the Omani players, you didn't see defeat. You saw frustration, yes, but also a burning determination. This match felt far from over. There was a palpable sense of unfinished business hanging in the stadium air. Oman had shown they could create chances and trouble Qatar's defense. They weren't ready to roll over and give up, not by a long shot. That sets us up perfectly for a second half that promises even more drama and fireworks. Will Qatar consolidate their lead and see out the game, or can Oman stage a legendary comeback? The next 45 minutes are going to be absolutely electric. Everything is still to play for, and you get the feeling that both teams are just getting started. This is football at its most unpredictable and exciting. Now, as we head into the second half, let's analyze the key tactical battles we've seen so far. Oman's high press was both their greatest weapon and their biggest weakness. It created that incredible chance off the crossbar, but it also left them exposed to Qatar's lightning-fast counters. For the second half, Oman's coach has a massive decision to make. Does he stick with the high-risk, high-reward strategy, hoping to overwhelm Qatar, or does he adopt a more conservative approach to prevent conceding again? On the other side, Qatar's game management has been superb. They absorbed pressure when they needed to and were absolutely ruthless when their opportunities came. Their captain's goal was a masterclass in seizing the moment. Look for them to try and slow the game down in the second half, control possession, and frustrate Oman. They'll be looking for any mistake, any gap to exploit as Oman gets more desperate. The midfield battle is going to be crucial. Whoever wins control of the center of the park will likely dictate the rest of this incredible contest. The fans are back in their seats, the players are emerging from the tunnel, and the atmosphere is absolutely buzzing. You can feel the anticipation. Can Oman find an early goal to reignite their hopes? Or will Qatar land the knockout blow? Don't go anywhere, because the second half of this epic encounter is about to kick off. We're all set for another 45 minutes of pure footballing drama. Thanks for watching with us. If you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our future content. Let's get ready for the restart. Welcome back, everyone. If you thought the first half was a roller coaster, you haven't seen anything yet. The second half kicked off, and Oman emerged from the tunnel looking like a completely different squad. Whatever their coach said during that halftime break must have been legendary, because they came out with a fire in their eyes and a belief that you could feel right through the screen. And it didn't take long for that new energy to pay off. Just minutes into the second half, Oman won a free kick in a dangerous area. The tension was palpable. The whistle blew, the ball was struck with perfect precision, and it flew past the wall, nestling into the back of the net. Goal for Oman. Just like that, it was Oman 2, Qatar 3. The stadium absolutely erupted. The Omani fans, who had been quiet for much of the first half, were now a roaring sea of red and white. Suddenly, the impossible felt entirely possible. That goal was the spark. Oman smelled blood in the water, and they just kept coming. Wave after wave of attack crashed against the Qatari defense, which was starting to look rattled. You could see the pressure mounting with every single pass. The momentum had completely shifted. Oman was playing with a relentless intensity, winning every 50-50 ball and pushing forward with incredible purpose. Then, in the 65th minute, came the moment that will be replayed for years to come. A beautiful, looping cross was whipped into the box from the wing. It hung in the air for what felt like an eternity. An Omani striker rose majestically above the defenders, a towering figure against the floodlights. He met the ball with a powerful header, directing it downwards with unstoppable force. The net bulged. Goal. Oman has equalized. It's 3-3. The stadium exploded into pure, unadulterated joy. The Omani players celebrated with a passion that sent shivers down your spine, piling on top of each other near the corner flag. In the stands, fans were jumping, screaming, hugging strangers, a beautiful chaos of emotion. The comeback was complete. From 3 goals down, they had clawed their way back to level pegging. It was an incredible, awe-inspiring display of heart and determination. Now, it was a whole new ball game. Qatar, who had looked so comfortable and in control for the first 45 minutes, were now the ones on the back foot. You could see the nervousness creeping into their play. Passes went astray, clearances were rushed. The confidence they had earlier had evaporated, replaced by a look of shock and anxiety. This match was now balanced on a knife's edge. Every single second from that point on was packed with unbearable tension. Every tackle, every pass, every run carried the weight of the entire match. The atmosphere was electric, a crackling energy that you could almost taste. The crowd was living every moment, groaning at near misses and roaring with every promising attack. This wasn't just a football match anymore. It was a high-stakes drama where the next twist could come at any moment. Who would hold their nerve? Who would be the hero? The final chapter of this incredible story was about to be written, and nobody dared to look away. What a game! What a comeback! Stick around, you won't want to miss how this ends. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you're loving this breakdown as much as I am, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our future content. See you in the next one. Just when it seemed like the momentum was entirely with Oman, just when you thought they might snatch an unbelievable victory, Qatar, the reigning Asian champions, reminded everyone exactly why they wear that crown. They dug deep and found a gear that, frankly, most teams just don't have. The Qatari coach made some crucial substitutions, injecting fresh legs and a new wave of creativity onto the pitch. You could feel the shift in energy as these new players immediately looked to get on the ball and make something happen. With the clock ticking down and less than 10 minutes of normal time remaining, Qatar orchestrated one final, decisive push. It was a move built on patience and precision. The passing was quick, incisive, and it carved through an Omani defense that had been so resilient. A perfectly weighted through ball sliced the back line open, and the Qatari striker, cool as you like, didn't hesitate. He took one touch to set himself and unleashed a low, powerful drive that zipped across the grass and nestled perfectly into the bottom corner of the net. Goal. The stadium erupted. Qatar 4, Oman 3. An absolutely clinical finish under immense pressure. For Oman, it was pure, unadulterated heartbreak. You could see it on their faces. They had clawed their way back from the brink, showing incredible heart and spirit to level the score, only to have victory snatched away in the dying moments. That's the cruel beauty of football. Qatar's undeniable quality and composure when it mattered most proved to be the decisive factor. But credit to Oman, they didn't let their heads drop. Not for a second. Even after conceding, the Omani players pushed forward with everything they had left in the tank. They threw players forward, launched long balls into the box, and desperately fought for one last chance to find another miracle equalizer. They battled right up until the very last second, a testament to their incredible fighting spirit. But in the end, time was their enemy. The referee checked his watch, raised the whistle to his lips, and blew for full time. The contrast in emotions was immediate and stark. The Qatari players and staff exploded in celebration, a release of tension after a ridiculously tough match. They had secured a dramatic, hard-fought victory. On the other side, several Omani players collapsed to the turf, physically and emotionally drained, the disappointment palpable. But let's be absolutely clear. Both teams left every single ounce of effort on that pitch. They gave us, the fans, an absolute spectacle. This 7-goal thriller wasn't just a football match, it was an epic. It had everything. Incredible goals, a stunning comeback, high drama, and unrelenting passion from both sides. this is exactly why we call football the beautiful game. Oman proved to the world that they are a team of fighters, a squad with immense character that simply never knows when to quit. Meanwhile, Qatar demonstrated their championship class, their ability to stay calm and execute perfectly when the pressure is at its absolute peak. For any neutral fan watching, it was a night of pure, unscripted entertainment. A roller coaster of emotions filled with unforgettable moments that will be talked about for a long, long time. Final score: Oman 3, Qatar 4. Was it the match of the qualifiers so far? I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a better one. An absolute classic. Thank you so much for tuning in to relive this incredible match with us. If you love football drama like this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next breakdown. We'll see you in the next one. What a night, what a match, and what a story. The AFC Asian qualifiers just gave us a showdown that fans will remember for years to come. We're talking about Oman versus Qatar, a game absolutely packed with drama, passion, and goals that just kept on coming. By the end of the 90 minutes, the scoreboard showed Oman 3, Qatar 4. But trust me, that score only tells half the story. From the very first whistle, you could feel the electricity in the stadium. The stands were a sea of red and white for Oman and a wave of maroon for Qatar, with fans chanting, clapping, and waving flags with everything they had. This wasn't just a qualifier. It was a battle of pride, of determination, and of national spirit. Both teams knew exactly how important these points were, and neither was about to back down an inch. The opening minutes set the tone for the entire match. It was all high-pressing, lightning-fast transitions, and fearless tackles. It was immediately clear that this was not going to be your ordinary run-of-the-mill game. What followed was 90 minutes of absolutely breathtaking football that swung back and forth like a pendulum, keeping everyone on the edge of their seats. Let's break down the roller coaster of goals. Qatar drew first blood, with Akram Afif showcasing his clinical finishing inside the box. You could see the confidence ripple through the Qatari side. But Oman, roared on by their incredible home crowd, refused to be silenced. They fought back with relentless pressure, and it paid off. A brilliant cross found its mark, and a thunderous header leveled the score. The stadium erupted. It was 1-1, and the game was well and truly on. Just when Oman seemed to have the momentum, Qatar struck again. A defensive lapse, a quick counterattack, and suddenly the visitors were back in front. It was a testament to their speed and precision. But this Omani team has a heart of a lion. They dug deep, stringing together some beautiful passes, and found another equalizer just before halftime. The teams went into the break at 2-2, and everyone in the stadium, and watching at home, could finally catch their breath. What an incredible first half. The second half picked up right where the first left off. Pure, unadulterated attacking football. The midfield battle was intense, with every 50-50 challenge fought with grit and passion. Qatar, ever the opportunists, managed to find the net again, making it 3-2. You had to wonder if that would be the decisive blow, the goal that would finally break Oman's spirit. But if you thought that, you don't know this Omani team. They launched wave after wave of attacks, their determination unwavering. Their persistence was rewarded in the most dramatic fashion. A long-range shot, a deflection, and the ball nestled into the back of the net. It was 3-3. The crowd went absolutely wild. With just minutes left on the clock, it felt like Oman might even snatch a winner. However, football can be a cruel game. In the dying moments, with hearts in mouths, Qatar found one last moment of magic. A swift move, a clever pass, and a calm, composed finish sealed the deal. 4-3 to Qatar. The final whistle blew on a truly epic encounter. Oman's players fell to the turf, exhausted and heartbroken, but they could hold their heads high. They gave everything and left it all on the pitch, contributing to one of the most memorable qualifiers we've seen in a long time. For Qatar, it was a hard-fought victory that showcased their champion mentality. For Oman, a devastating loss, but a performance full of courage and fight that their fans will be immensely proud of. This match was a perfect advertisement for Asian football, full of skill, passion, and unbelievable drama. It's games like these that remind us why we love this beautiful sport. What a spectacle. Thank you so much for watching this breakdown. If you enjoyed the recap and love passionate football stories like this one, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another video. We'll see you in the next one. What a first half. You think you've seen it all in football, but then a game like this comes along and completely blows your mind. From the very first whistle, this match was pure, unadulterated chaos, and I am here for every second of it. Picture this. We're only 7 minutes in. Celta de Vigo, playing with incredible confidence, puts together a breathtaking team move. The passing is crisp, the movement is intelligent, and it culminates with their star striker burying the ball in the back of the net. The stadium absolutely erupts. The home fans are going wild, and you just know you're in for a special night. The energy was electric. But hold on, this is Atletico Madrid we're talking about. You don't get to the top by backing down. And who else but the main man, Antoine Griezmann, to step up? Almost immediately after Celta's opener, he unleashes an absolute rocket, a thunderous strike that leaves the keeper with no chance. It's 1-1, and the away fans are in delirium. Griezmann silences the crowd with a goal that screamed pure class. If you thought that was exciting, you have no idea what was coming next. It was like someone hit the fast-forward button on the game. The floodgates didn't just open, they were blown clean off their hinges. In the next 20 minutes, the ball hit the back of the net 4 more times. It was end-to-end insanity. Celta scored again, a brilliantly worked goal that sliced through the Atleti defense. Then, Atletico clawed their way back, refusing to be left behind. Then came the drama. A clumsy challenge in the box, the referee points to the spot, penalty. The pressure is immense, the entire stadium holding its breath. The penalty taker steps up, cool as you like, and slots it home with ice-cold precision. It was a masterclass in handling pressure. By the time the halftime whistle blew, the scoreboard read a staggering 3-2 to Celta de Vigo. My heart was pounding, and social media was already buzzing, with fans calling it one of the most thrilling first halves of the entire season. Let's be honest, both defensive lines looked like they'd rather be anywhere else. They were shaky, disorganized, and left wide-open spaces. But who cares about defending when the attack is this good? The forwards were on another level. Absolutely ruthless. Every single player looked hungry for a goal. Every touch was precise, every pass had a purpose, and every counterattack felt like a guaranteed goal, scoring opportunity. It was one of those games where you just couldn't look away. I genuinely didn't dare blink. You go to check your phone for a second, and bam, you've missed another stunner flying into the top corner. It's been an absolute roller coaster, and this is only halftime. What can we expect in the second half? Will the defenses finally get their act together, or are we in for another goal fest? Will Celta hold on to their lead, or will Atletico mount an epic comeback? The managers have some serious work to do in the dressing room. Tactics will need to change, but let's hope the excitement doesn't. This is football at its most entertaining, and I can't wait to see what happens next. What did you think of that first half? Drop your predictions for the final score in the comments below. I want to hear what you guys think. If you're enjoying this breakdown and love passionate football analysis, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and let's get ready for the second half. If you thought the first half of this match was a roller coaster, you haven't seen anything yet. The second half wasn't just football. It was pure, unadulterated chaos. A spectacle that will be talked about for years. Atletico Madrid stormed out of the dressing room looking like a team possessed, a team on a mission. You could see the fire in their eyes, the burning desire to claw their way back from the brink and rewrite the story of this game. And rewrite it they did. Almost immediately, the momentum shifted. Atletico's pressure was relentless. They swarmed Celta's defense, hunting in packs, and the home side simply couldn't cope with the intensity. The ball was won high up the pitch, a quick pass, a clinical move, and bang! Alvaro Morata, a man who lives for these high-stakes moments, found the back of the net. The away fans erupted, a pocket of noise in a suddenly nervous stadium. But he wasn't done. Before Celta could even catch their breath, before they could reorganize, it happened again. Another wave of red and white surged forward, another defensive lapse, and there was Morata once more, cool as you like, slotting it home. A quick-fire brace that completely flipped the script. In a matter of minutes, Atletico had not just equalized, but they had taken the lead. The score was now 4-3 in their favor. The home fans at Balaidos were stunned into silence. Their team, which had looked so comfortable, was now chasing the game. It was a masterclass in halftime turnarounds, a testament to Atletico's grit. But just when you thought Atletico had seized control, Celta de Vigo roared back to life. This is what makes football the greatest sport on earth. Celta refused to lie down and accept defeat in their own backyard. Spurred on by the thunderous roar of their supporters, they found a second wind. Their midfield, which had been overrun just moments before, started pushing higher, winning back possession with a newfound ferocity. Their wingers, who had been pinned back, began to stretch Atletico's backline, creating space and causing all sorts of problems. You could feel the tide turning once again. The pressure built and built, culminating in a moment of sheer brilliance in the 65th minute. A cross was whipped in, partially cleared, and the ball looped perfectly for an onrushing Celta player. Without a moment's hesitation, he connected with a stunning volley that flew like a rocket into the net. The stadium absolutely exploded. The noise was deafening. The score was now 4-4. Balaidos wasn't just a stadium anymore. It was a living, breathing entity, shaking with raw emotion. The game had officially descended into beautiful madness. Both teams threw caution to the wind, abandoning defensive structures for all-out attack. It was end-to-end, breathless stuff. Every attack looked like it could be a goal. Every tackle was met with a roar. And then, just 10 minutes after equalizing, Celta struck again. A perfectly delivered corner kick, a player rising highest amidst a sea of bodies, and a perfectly timed header that nestled into the corner of the net. Unbelievable. Celta were back in front, 5-4. The home fans were in dreamland, delirious with joy. It looked like they might have just landed the knockout blow, that this incredible comeback would be their story to tell. But in this game, the end was just a suggestion. Just when it seemed the hosts might finally run away with it, Atletico fired back. Out of nowhere, a midfielder picked up the ball 30 yards from goal, took a touch, and unleashed a long-range strike that zipped with ferocious pace past the despairing dive of the goalkeeper and into the corner. 5-5, an absolute screamer to level the scores yet again. At this point, the stadium was just a wall of sound. Fans on both sides could barely keep their voices. People were screaming, cheering, and gasping with every single kick of the ball. Strangers were hugging each other in the stands, united in disbelief at what they were witnessing. This wasn't just a game of football. It was an emotional epic, a drama of the highest order played out on a field of green. Every player was giving their absolute all, running on pure adrenaline. The tension was unbearable, yet nobody wanted it to end. This was the kind of match that reminds us why we fell in love with the sport in the first place. For its unpredictability, its passion, and its ability to deliver moments of pure, unscripted magic that stay with you forever. Thank you so much for watching this breakdown of one of the wildest games in recent memory. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, please hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another incredible football story. Let me know in the comments what you think was the craziest moment of this match. Until next time, take care. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most unbelievable football matches in recent memory. A game that defied all expectations, rewrote the script, and left fans utterly breathless. We're talking about the day Celta de Vigo and Atletico Madrid gave us an 11-goal thriller that will be etched in football folklore forever. Now, when you think of Atletico Madrid under Diego Simeone, what comes to mind? Defensive solidity, right? A team that's notoriously hard to break down, a fortress that rarely concedes, let alone gets dragged into a high-scoring frenzy. They are the masters of the 1-0 win, a team built on resilience and tactical discipline. So, when they faced a spirited Celta de Vigo side, most of us expected a tight, cagey affair. Maybe a narrow win for Atletico, or a hard-fought draw. But what unfolded was something else entirely. It was chaotic, it was frantic, it was pure, unadulterated footballing drama. From the very first whistle, the game plan seemed to be thrown out the window. It was end-to-end action, a spectacle of attacking football that no one saw coming. Goals flew in at both ends, each one more audacious than the last. Celta, playing with a fearless spirit, went blow for blow with the giants from Madrid. Atletico, for their part, seemed almost caught off guard, forced into a shootout they never wanted. The lead changed hands multiple times. First Celta, then Atletico, then back again. It was like watching a tennis match with each team landing powerful shots and refusing to back down. As the game wore on, the score climbed higher and higher, 3-3, then 4-4, and incredibly, 5-5. The tension was palpable. You could feel it through the screen. Every attack carried the weight of a potential winner. Every defensive scramble was a heart-in-mouth moment. The players were running on fumes, but the adrenaline of this insane contest kept them going. And then came the moment that sealed this match in history. We're in the dying minutes, the clock ticking relentlessly towards full time. Both teams are visibly exhausted, their legs heavy from the relentless pace. But Celta, buoyed by their incredible home crowd, pushed forward one last time. They weren't settling for a draw. They wanted the glory. A clever, lightning-fast 1-2 pass sliced through the tired Atletico defense, a momentary lapse in concentration that would prove fatal. The ball found its way to their substitute striker, a player brought on to inject fresh energy. Suddenly, he had a golden chance. The stadium held its collective breath. He didn't hesitate. With one clean, composed strike, the ball flew past the outstretched arms of the world-class Jan Oblak and nestled into the back of the net. 6-5 to Celta de Vigo. The stadium erupted like a volcano. The noise was deafening. Fans were on their feet, strangers hugging each other in disbelief. Players on the pitch collapsed, some in sheer joy, others in utter exhaustion and disbelief. Even neutral viewers at home couldn't believe what they had just witnessed. Atletico Madrid, the epitome of defensive resilience, had been beaten in an 11-goal epic. The referee's final whistle blew moments later, confirming the impossible. Celta de Vigo had pulled off one of the most remarkable victories in their modern history. Their players were heroes. Meanwhile, the Atletico squad walked off stunned, their faces a mask of confusion, wondering how it all went so spectacularly wrong. This wasn't just a loss, it was a statistical anomaly, a game that defied their very identity. This match serves as a beautiful reminder of why we love football. It's a game of unpredictability, where on any given day, the underdog can triumph in the most spectacular fashion. It's about courage, passion, and moments of pure, unscripted magic. Celta versus Atletico wasn't just a game, it was an experience, a story that will be told for generations. What did you think of this incredible match? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What's the craziest game you've ever watched? Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this look back at a modern classic, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more football stories. We'll see you in the next one. Video opens with dramatic highlights of the Celta vs Atletico match, goals, near misses, and passionate crowd reactions. What a night of football! We just witnessed something truly special, something that goes beyond 3 points in the league table. The Celta de Vigo versus Atletico Madrid match wasn't just a game. It was a statement, a spectacle, a declaration of what makes La Liga one of the most exciting leagues in the world. Celta de Vigo, with sheer grit and attacking flair, proved they can stand tall against the titans of Spanish football and emerge victorious. They didn't just win. They fought, they dazzled, and they etched their names into the memory of every fan watching. This performance sends a clear message to the rest of the league. Celta is here to compete, and they fear no one. This victory will inject a massive dose of confidence into the squad, fueling their ambitions for the rest of the 2025-26 season. It's the kind of win that can define a team's entire campaign, turning doubters into believers and transforming a good season into a great one. They showed that with heart and determination, anything is possible. But on the other side of this epic tale, we have Atletico Madrid. And for them, the questions are swirling. This is a team forged in the image of Diego Simeone, a fortress built on a foundation of defensive solidity, discipline, and relentless organization. Colismo is a philosophy defined by its defensive prowess. So, how did this bastion of defense crumble and concede 6 goals in a single match? It's a number that seems almost unbelievable, a statistical anomaly for a Simeone side. Was this just a fluke, a collective off day where nothing went right? Or does it signal something more concerning? Are there deeper cracks appearing in Atletico's famed defensive system? Fans and pundits will be dissecting every goal, every mistake, searching for answers. This result will force a period of intense introspection at the club. They will have to analyze what went wrong, regroup, and rediscover the defensive identity that has brought them so much success. The pressure is on, and the world will be watching to see how they respond to this shocking defeat. For the neutral observer, for the die-hard La Liga fan, for anyone who simply loves the beautiful game, this was pure footballing ecstasy. This match will be remembered and talked about for years to come. It is the kind of game that reignites our passion and reminds us why we fell in love with football in the first place. It's the raw, unfiltered unpredictability. It's the roller coaster of emotions, the heart-stopping drama, and the moments of individual brilliance that leave you breathless. 11 goals in total. Think about that. It was non-stop, end-to-end action, a chaotic symphony of attacking football that kept everyone glued to their seats from the first whistle to the last. The constant shifts in momentum, the late goals, and that final, unbelievable twist created a narrative that even Hollywood couldn't script. This wasn't just a match. It was an experience, a memory burned into the collective consciousness of football fans. As the 2025-26 season marches forward, both clubs will carry the legacy of this night with them, but in very different ways. For Celta de Vigo, this is a launchpad. They will step onto the pitch for their next match with a newfound swagger, a belief that they can challenge anyone. This historic win could be the catalyst that propels them to new heights, galvanizing the players and the entire fan base. On the other hand, Atletico Madrid will be driven by a powerful desire for redemption. A club of their stature and a manager of Simeone's mentality will not let this result define them. They will be more determined than ever to bounce back, to silence the critics, and to prove that this was nothing more than a temporary lapse. Expect to see an even fiercer, more focused Atletico in the coming weeks. But one thing is absolutely certain. This breathtaking 6-5 showdown will go down in the annals of football history. It will be hailed as one of the greatest, most chaotic games of the season, and perhaps even of the entire decade. So, let's be clear. If you happen to miss this match, you didn't just miss 90 minutes of football. You missed a piece of history being made right before our eyes. You missed the goals, the drama, the passion, and the story of a night that will be replayed, remembered, and debated for years to come. This was more than a game. It was a testament to the magic of football. And that, my friends, is the incredible, unforgettable story of the Celta de Vigo 6, Atletico Madrid 5 thriller. A match that perfectly captures the heart and soul of this beautiful sport. Thank you so much for watching and reliving this epic encounter with us. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another piece of football history. We'll see you in the next one. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a match that wasn't just a game. It was an absolute spectacle. A night that will be etched in La Liga history for years to come. I'm talking about one of football's wildest nights, a clash that defied all expectations and delivered pure, unadulterated chaos. Imagine this. You're settling in on your couch, ready for a typical La Liga match. It's Celta de Vigo at home, up against the formidable Atletico Madrid, managed by the master of defensive discipline, Diego Simeone. You're probably expecting a tight tactical battle, maybe a hard-fought 1-0 or 2-1 scoreline. That's the Atleti way, right? Grit, organization, and grinding out a result. But what unfolded at Balaidos was something else entirely. It was a whirlwind of emotion, a storm of goals, and one of the most breathtaking nights of Spanish football has witnessed in a long, long time. From the very first whistle, you could feel something different in the air. The atmosphere inside Balaidos was electric. The home crowd was a sea of sky blue, waving their flags, chanting their anthems, and roaring their team forward with every touch of the ball. It was a cauldron of noise, and Celta de Vigo fed off that energy, channeling it directly onto the pitch. They came out of the gates flying, not intimidated by their star-studded opponents, but inspired by their own passionate supporters. And boy, did they respond. It took just 7 minutes. 7 minutes. For the fireworks to begin. A moment of hesitation in the Atletico defense, a loose ball bouncing tantalizingly in the penalty area. And Celta's striker was on it in a flash. He pounced, took a touch, and coolly slotted it past one of the world's best goalkeepers, Jan Oblak. 1-0 to Celta. The stadium absolutely erupted. It was a dream start, a statement of intent. But little did anyone know, this was just the opening act. The first goal in what would become a torrential downpour. Now, if there's one thing we know about Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid, it's that they never, ever sit back and accept defeat. They are fighters, warriors. And stung by that early goal, they responded like the champions they are. The call to arms was answered by their main man, their talisman, Antoine Griezmann. The Frenchman, a player born for the big moments, found a pocket of space at the edge of the box. He received the ball, took a look up, and with that magical left foot of his, curled a perfect, unstoppable shot into the back of the net. 1-1. The away fans, tucked into a corner of the stadium, went wild. The game was back on level terms, and suddenly it was clear. This was going to be a heavyweight bout. What followed in that first half was pure, glorious football madness. It had absolutely everything you could ask for as a neutral fan. We saw lightning-fast counterattacks from both sides, with players tearing up the pitch like their lives depended on it. We saw desperate, last-ditch tackles from defenders putting their bodies on the line. We saw a controversial penalty awarded to Celta, adding another layer of drama and debate to the proceedings. It was non-stop, end-to-end action, a constant barrage of attacking football from both teams. That opening 45 minutes felt like watching a football match on fast forward. It was relentless. Every single time a team went forward, you genuinely felt like it could end in a goal. Atletico's midfield, usually so composed and controlling, desperately tried to slow the tempo, to impose their will on the game. But Celta's energy was simply unstoppable. It was like trying to hold back a tidal wave. Their wingers were absolutely flying down the flanks, tormenting the Atleti fullbacks and whipping in dangerous crosses one after another. Their midfielders pressed with a ferocious intensity, snapping into tackles and refusing to give their opponents a moment's peace on the ball. Atletico, for their part, showed their clinical edge. Alvaro Morata, a true poacher, did what he does best. He found a sliver of space inside the crowded penalty area and demonstrated his killer instincts, getting on the end of a pass and firing it home. But just when you thought Atleti might gain control, Celta hit back almost immediately. The referee pointed to the spot, a penalty for the home side. Under immense pressure, with the eyes of the world watching, their penalty taker stepped up and coolly converted, sending the keeper the wrong way. The crowd went ballistic once again. And they weren't done. Before the referee could even think about blowing the halftime whistle, Celta produced another moment of magic. A swift breakaway, a perfectly weighted pass, and another clinical finish. The scoreboard flickered to read Celta 3, Atletico Madrid 2. As the players headed down the tunnel, fans all across the world were left glued to their screens, jaws on the floor, trying to process what they had just witnessed. This wasn't just a game. It was a war of nerves. Every player on that pitch looked over their shoulder, constantly aware of the danger. Every fan in the stadium and at home felt their heart racing, caught up in the drama. This had transcended tactics and formations. It was about pure will, raw desire, and who wanted it more. The second half began with a question hanging in the air. Could it possibly live up to the first? The answer was a resounding yes. The pace didn't drop. If anything, it intensified. Simeone, no doubt furious, must have delivered one of his signature halftime team talks because Atletico came out looking like a team possessed. They threw everything they had at Celta, launching wave after wave of attack. But Celta, buoyed by their incredible home support, refused to buckle. They stood firm, defending for their lives and looking to hit back on the counter. The game became a mesmerizing tug-of-war. Atletico would score, pulling themselves level, only for Celta to find a response, to punch back and retake the lead. The goals kept flying in. A towering header from a set piece, a long-range screamer that ripped into the top corner, a mazy solo run that ended with a deft finish. It was a highlight reel unfolding in real time. The scoreboard kept ticking over, 3-3, then 4-3, then 4-4. The fans in the stadium were going through every emotion imaginable. Joy, despair, hope, anxiety, all within the space of a few minutes. It was utterly exhausting and completely exhilarating. As the clock ticked towards the 90th minute with the scoreline unbelievably tied, it felt like the match was destined for one final dramatic twist. And it came. In the dying moments of stoppage time, with legs tiring and minds exhausted, one last attack was launched. A scramble in the box, a deflection, and the ball fell to a player who volleyed it home with incredible technique. The net bulged. The stadium exploded in a way it hadn't all night. It was the winning goal. A moment of pure, unscripted drama that decided one of the most incredible games of football you will ever see. The final whistle blew on a scene of beautiful chaos. One set of players collapsed to the turf in celebration, mobbing their hero. The other set fell to their knees in exhaustion and disbelief. The fans, both home and away, stood and applauded, recognizing that they had been privileged to witness something truly special. This wasn't about X's and O's or possession stats. This was about passion, heart, and the sheer, unpredictable beauty of football. It was a reminder that on any given night, anything can happen. A night where a normal La Liga clash turned into a legendary epic. It was, without a doubt, football's wildest night. What a game! What a memory! Nights like these are why we love this sport. Thanks so much for watching and reliving this incredible match with me. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, make sure to hit that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more stories from the world of football. Let me know in the comments what you think was the craziest game you've ever watched. Until next time, take care. What's up, football fans, and welcome back to the channel. Get ready, because you're about to witness one of the most electrifying international friendlies of the season. Tonight, we're bringing you the full match highlights from an absolute goal fest between St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Cuba. This wasn't just a friendly, it was a battle for pride, a showcase of incredible talent, and a night that delivered pure, unadulterated football drama. From the very first whistle, you could feel the energy crackling in the stadium. Both teams came out with a point to prove, and they didn't hold back. St. Vincent, playing with incredible heart in front of their passionate home crowd, was determined to make a statement. Cuba, known for their flair and technical skill, was equally hungry for a win. What followed was a breathtaking end-to-end contest that had everyone on the edge of their seats. The match exploded into life almost immediately. We saw sharp passing, relentless pressing, and a hunger for goal from both sides. St. Vincent broke the deadlock with a brilliantly executed team goal, sending the home supporters into a frenzy. But Cuba, undeterred, responded with their own moment of magic, leveling the score and proving this was going to be a tight contest. The first half was a whirlwind of attacking football, with both defenses being tested time and time again. As we moved into the second half, the intensity only ramped up. It was a true tactical chess match, with managers making key substitutions to try and gain the upper hand. St. Vincent seemed to find an extra gear, their attackers linking up with telepathic understanding. They managed to find the back of the net not once but twice more in quick succession, building a lead that looked commanding. The clinical finishing on display was simply world-class. But just when you thought the game was settled, Cuba roared back. They pulled a goal back with a stunning long-range effort that left the keeper with no chance, setting up a nail-biting final few minutes. The tension was palpable. Could Cuba find an equalizer and complete a historic comeback? Or would St. Vincent hold on for a famous victory? Every tackle, every pass, and every shot mattered in these final dramatic moments. In the end, St. Vincent sealed the deal with a fourth and final goal, a beautiful counterattack that capped off an unforgettable performance. A 4-2 victory in a match that had everything: 6 goals, incredible skill, and non-stop action. This was more than just a friendly, it was a testament to the passion and spirit of international football. What a night! What a game! Thanks so much for tuning in to watch these incredible highlights. If you enjoyed the action as much as we did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another epic match. Until next time, take care. What an incredible start to the second half. Cuba came out of the locker room looking like a completely different team, didn't they? Right from the whistle, you could see the determination in their eyes. They were sharper, their passes were crisper, and they were finally starting to ask some serious questions of that St. Vincent and the Grenadines' defense. For the first 10 minutes, it was all Cuba, pushing forward, stretching the play, and you just got the feeling something was about to happen. And then, in the 55th minute, it did. A moment of pure brilliance. A perfectly weighted through ball, slicing right through the heart of the St. Vincent backline. The Cuban striker, cool as you like, latched onto it, took one touch to set himself, and calmly slotted it past the onrushing goalkeeper. 2-2. The Cuban supporters went absolutely ballistic, and rightly so. It was a fantastic goal, and suddenly the entire dynamic of the match had shifted. Game on. But here's where you have to give massive credit to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Lesser teams would have crumbled after conceding an equalizer like that, especially with all the momentum swinging against them. But not this side. Instead of dropping their heads, that goal seemed to sting them into action. It was like they collectively said, "Not in our house." They didn't just weather the storm, they decided to create a storm of their own. And just 5 minutes later, can you believe it? Only 5 minutes. We witnessed a piece of individual magic that will be replayed for years to come. Their young forward, who had been a handful all game, picked up the ball just inside the Cuban half. He went on this mesmerizing solo run, dancing past 1, 2, 3 defenders as if they weren't even there. He cut inside, looked up, and from the edge of the box unleashed an absolutely breathtaking curling shot that flew into the top corner of the net. The goalkeeper had no chance. The stadium just erupted. A truly world-class goal to make it 3-2. What a response. From that moment on, the tide turned completely. That goal electrified the home crowd and the players fed off that incredible energy. St. Vincent rediscovered their high-pressing, relentless style that we saw in the first half. Every tackle was met with a roar from the stands. Every interception felt like a goal. They were first to every loose ball, playing with an intensity and purpose that Cuba simply couldn't match. You could feel it in the air. This wasn't just about winning a football match anymore. This was about pride, about character, and about making a statement. St. Vincent and the Grenadines were not going to let this lead slip again. They wanted this victory, and they were prepared to fight for every single inch to get it. What a phenomenal display of heart and resilience. The final minutes are going to be absolutely intense. Thanks for tuning in and sharing this incredible match with us. If you're enjoying the commentary, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a moment of the action. Let's see how this one finishes. Hello, football fans, and welcome back to the channel for what turned out to be an absolute thriller. We're breaking down the World Cup qualifier between St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Cuba, and let me tell you, the first half was pure, unadulterated chaos, especially from the home side. Right from the opening whistle, St. Vincent came out with an energy that was simply electric. You could feel the passion from the home crowd fueling every single player on that pitch. They were pressing high, they were aggressive, and they completely suffocated Cuba, forcing mistake after mistake. It felt like a goal was inevitable, and we didn't have to wait long. Just 12 minutes in, the breakthrough happened. It was a textbook counterattack down the right flank. The winger showed incredible pace, cut inside his defender, and drilled a low, hard strike right into the bottom corner. The stadium absolutely exploded. It was 1-0, and the Vincentian players were flying. But they weren't content to just sit on that lead. Oh no, they kept their foot on the gas. Their midfield was a wall, winning every 50-50 ball, controlling the tempo and spraying pinpoint passes to the forwards. It was a masterclass in how to dominate a game. And then, in the 25th minute, they doubled their lead. A perfectly delivered free kick was whipped into the box, and a powerful header found the back of the net. It was clinical. It was precise, and at 2-0, it looked like St. Vincent might run away with it. The confidence was sky-high. Cuba, however, looked shell-shocked. They were struggling to find any rhythm, constantly under pressure and unable to get out of their own half. But great teams find a way to respond, and just when it seemed like all hope was lost for them in the first half, they produced a moment of magic. Right before the halftime whistle, a Cuban player picked up the ball about 30 yards out and unleashed an absolute rocket. The shot soared through the air and beat the keeper at full stretch. It was a stunner, completely against the run of play, but it was a goal that changed the entire complexion of the match. So, as the players headed into the tunnel, the score stood at 2-1. St. Vincent had been dominant, but that late goal from Cuba injected a massive dose of tension and drama into the contest. It set the stage for an incredible second half, reminding everyone that in football, anything can happen. That first half was a roller coaster of emotions, and it perfectly set up the nail-biting finish that was to come. What a game! It's moments like these that make us love this sport. Thanks for tuning in to this recap. If you enjoyed the breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more football analysis and highlights. We've got plenty more coming your way. Drop a comment below and let me know what you thought of that incredible first half. Until next time, take care. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a match that will be talked about for years to come. Forget your tactical masterclasses and defensive clinics. This was pure, unadulterated football chaos. We're talking about the recent clash between Gibraltar and New Caledonia, a game that redefined the term goal fest. If you thought you'd seen it all in football, stick around, because this match tore up the script and set it on fire. It was an 11-goal thriller that had fans on the edge of their seats from the first whistle to the last. So, grab your snacks, get comfortable, and let's relive every heart-stopping moment of this instant classic. The first half set the tone for what was to become an unforgettable spectacle. It was clear from the get-go that both teams had thrown their defensive manuals out the window. New Caledonia came out swinging, and just 10 minutes in, their star striker, Jean-Philippe Psycho, announced his presence. He capitalized on a defensive mix-up, coolly slotting the ball past the keeper to open the scoring. But Gibraltar wasn't about to be a pushover on home turf. Their response was swift and emphatic. Just 5 minutes later, their own talisman, Ethan Martinez, leveled the score with a brilliant solo effort, sending the home crowd into a frenzy. The game quickly turned into a personal duel between Psycho and Martinez. It was like watching two heavyweight boxers trade blows. In the 25th minute, Psycho restored New Caledonia's lead with a powerful header from a corner kick. It was a textbook finish that showcased his aerial prowess. Yet again, Gibraltar fought back. Martinez, not to be outdone, equalized just before the half-hour mark, curling a stunning free kick into the top corner. 2-2, and the stadium was absolutely buzzing. But the drama wasn't over. On the stroke of halftime, Psycho completed his first-half hat-trick, pouncing on a rebound to make it 3-2. As the teams headed into the tunnel, everyone was left breathless, wondering what on earth the second half could possibly have in store. If you thought the first half was wild, the second half took things to a whole new dimension. New Caledonia started with the same attacking intent, and within 10 minutes of the restart, they'd extended their lead. Lithuania found the net in the 55th minute, making it 4-2, and it looked like they might run away with it. But Gibraltar, fueled by their passionate home support, simply refused to give up. The game turned into a frantic end-to-end affair. In the 65th minute, New Caledonia struck again, this time through the substitute, Shane Wellepan, who made it 5-2. At this point, many teams would have crumbled, but not Gibraltar. Just 2 minutes later, they were awarded a penalty which was calmly dispatched to make it 5-3. The comeback was on. Almost immediately from the restart, another goal went in, this time for New Caledonia's Cesar Zeula, pushing the score to a scarcely believable 6-3. But then, just a minute later, Gibraltar hit back again to make it 6-4. It was utter madness, with 4 goals scored in just 7 minutes. The final 20 minutes were nothing short of a goal festival. Gibraltar threw everyone forward, desperate to save the game, while New Caledonia kept punishing them on the counter-attack. What a match! 11 goals, 2 hat-tricks, and non-stop drama. This is why we love football. It's the unpredictability, the passion, and the sheer entertainment that games like this deliver. A huge congratulations to both teams for putting on such an incredible show. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this crazy game. Which was your favorite goal? Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another epic match recap. We'll see you in the next one. The crowd is roaring, the tension is palpable, and you can feel it in the air. Something is about to give. The 75th minute arrives, and it's the moment that will define this entire match. St. Vincent and the Grenadines have been turning up the heat, pressing high, forcing Cuba back into their own half. The pressure is relentless, a wave of green, gold, and blue crashing against a red wall. And then it happens. A mistake. A rare lapse in concentration from the Cuban defense under the suffocating press. The ball, as if by destiny, breaks loose inside the penalty area. It falls perfectly, sitting up, begging to be hit. And hit it is. One touch, one swift, decisive strike. The net bulges. The stadium erupts. It's 4-2 to St. Vincent. This isn't just another goal. This is the exclamation point on a masterful performance. The players are lost in a sea of celebration. The fans in the stands are in absolute ecstasy, hugging strangers, their voices raw with passion. This is what football is all about. This single, unifying moment of pure, unadulterated joy. It's the goal that says, "This is our night, this is our victory." You can see the relief and the elation on every face. They've done it. They've sealed the deal. With the clock ticking down, the final 15 minutes feel like an eternity. Cuba, with their pride on the line, has no choice but to throw everything forward. They're searching for a lifeline, a miracle to claw their way back into the game. But St. Vincent has transformed. The same team that was all flair and attacking brilliance just moments ago is now a fortress at the back. Their defense, which had been tested all game, now stands firm, unyielding, and unbreakable. Every player knows their role. Every man is fighting for the badge. The discipline is immense. The defenders are throwing themselves into every challenge, putting their bodies on the line, blocking shots, and intercepting passes. And behind them, their guardian, the goalkeeper. A late Cuban free kick is whipped in with pace and venom, destined for the top corner. But no. A full-stretch dive, strong hands, and a crucial save pushes the ball away from danger. The crowd gasps, then roars in appreciation. It's a save that's as good as a goal. It's a statement of defiance. This is the balance they've been searching for. The perfect harmony between attacking flair and defensive solidarity. They've learned how to win, how to manage a game, how to see it through to the end. Every single clearance from their own half isn't just a defensive action. It's met with a thunderous round of applause from the stands. The fans recognize the effort, the grit, the sheer will to win. And on the flip side, every counterattack, every quick break forward is cheered with the same intensity as if a goal had been scored. The belief is surging through the stadium. The atmosphere is absolutely electric. The final minutes are ticking away, but time seems to slow down. The fans are on their feet. No one is sitting. They've already started the celebrations, their voices joining together in songs of victory, a powerful chorus echoing around the ground. You can see the pride on their faces, the joy in their eyes. This is more than just a win. It's a historic moment for St. Vincent and the Grenadines football, a performance that will be talked about for years to come. They have outplayed, outfought, and outsmarted their opponents, and they are about to be rewarded for their incredible effort. The final whistle is just moments away from confirming a truly famous victory. And there it is. The final whistle blows. The players collapse to the ground, a mixture of exhaustion and pure elation. The bench erupts, streaming onto the pitch to celebrate with their teammates. What a performance! What a victory! A 4-2 win that was built on skill, heart, and an unbreakable spirit. From the stands, the celebration is just beginning, a party that will surely last long into the night. This was a day when heroes were made and a nation stood tall and proud. Thank you so much for joining us for this incredible match recap. The passion and drama of football are truly unmatched. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more content like this, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a moment. Let us know in the comments what your favorite part of the match was. Until next time, take care. Upbeat, exciting music starts and fades into the background. Hello, football fans, and welcome back to the channel. If you thought the first half of the Gibraltar vs. New Caledonia match was absolutely bonkers, you are not prepared for what happened in the second half. Strap yourselves in because this was pure, unadulterated football madness. Coming out of the break, New Caledonia looked like a completely different team. They were sharper, faster, and had a killer instinct in front of goal that was just absent in the first 45 minutes. It was clear they had received one heck of a halftime team talk, and they were ready to turn this game on its head, and it didn't take long for them to make their mark. Just 3 minutes into the second half, in the 48th minute, the man of the moment, Jean-Claude Wamitan, did it again. He found a pocket of space, received the ball, and buried it with a clinical finish. The net rippled, and just like that, New Caledonia had the lead for the very first time in the match. The scoreboard read 4-3, and the away section went wild. You could feel the momentum shift in the stadium. Gibraltar's players looked a bit shell-shocked, but before they could even regroup, New Caledonia struck again. Only 5 minutes later, in the 53rd minute, a brilliant substitution paid off. Rafael Coma, fresh off the bench, announced his arrival in style. He latched onto a through ball, kept his cool, and slotted it past the keeper to make it 5-3. The home crowd was silenced. A 2-goal deficit from a winning position. It was a stunning turn of events. For a moment, it felt like the fight had gone out of Gibraltar. But you should never, ever count this team out, especially not in front of their passionate home supporters. Refusing to let their heads drop, Gibraltar started to push back. They earned a free kick in a dangerous area just outside the box. The crowd held its breath as Daniel Torres stepped up. In the 59th minute, he produced a moment of absolute magic. He curled the ball perfectly over the wall and into the top corner of the net. The goalkeeper was left with no chance. It was a world-class strike that brought the score to 5-4 and sent the home fans into a frenzy. The stadium erupted with belief once again. The comeback was on. The atmosphere was electric, with every single fan on the edge of their seat. But just as Gibraltar was riding that wave of momentum, New Caledonia showed their class and composure. They weren't rattled by the goal. Instead, their midfield, which had been getting stronger all half, began to completely dominate possession. They passed the ball with confidence, moving Gibraltar's players from side to side, patiently waiting for an opening, and their attackers, full of running, kept finding those dangerous gaps in the defense. The pressure was building, and in the 65th minute, it finally told. The architect of so much of their attack, the incredible Moala, found himself in the right place at the right time. After a scramble in the box, the ball fell kindly to him just a few yards out, and he made no mistake, tapping it into the empty net. It was a simple finish, but a goal of immense importance. That goal completed his hat trick, an absolutely sensational performance from him, and, crucially, it restored New Caledonia's 2-goal cushion. The score was now 6-4, and you could feel the air go out of the stadium once more. What an incredible, heart-stopping roller coaster of a second half. Goals, drama, individual brilliance. This match had it all. It was a true spectacle for the neutral fan, and a testament to the fighting spirit of both teams. That's all the time we have for today's breakdown. What was your favorite moment from this insane second half? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss another highlight. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. When the final whistle blew, the stadium erupted. It was pure, unadulterated joy for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The scoreboard read 4-2 against Cuba, but this was so much more than just a number. This was a statement, a declaration, that this island nation is building something special. For a team often seen as underdogs, putting 4 goals past a respectable opponent like Cuba in front of a roaring home crowd was a massive boost of confidence. You could feel the belief surging through the players and the fans. The supporters responded with an outpouring of love, pride, and thunderous applause that shook the very foundations of the stadium. It was a moment of pure connection, a team and its people united in victory. For Cuba, the journey home will be one of reflection. The defeat will undoubtedly sting, but it wasn't all negative. They showed real character, didn't they? Fighting back from 2-0 down to level the score at 2-2 demonstrated incredible resilience and spirit. Those 2 goals weren't just lucky breaks, they were moments of genuine quality, proving that Cuba has the attacking talent to trouble any defense. However, the game is won and lost at both ends of the pitch. Unfortunately for them, defensive lapses and a few crucial missed opportunities ultimately cost them the game. These are the key areas they all need to analyze and improve upon as they look toward their next fixtures. It's a tough lesson, but one that can fuel future growth. But let's look at the bigger picture here. This international friendly wasn't just about the final score. It was about growth. It was about building confidence, and it was about igniting national pride. As the St. Vincent players walked off that pitch, you could see it in their eyes. They were exhausted, but they were heroes. They knew they had delivered a performance that their fans would talk about for weeks, months, even years to come. They gave their country a night to remember, a reason to stand tall and be proud. These are the moments that build a footballing culture, inspiring the next generation of players to dream big. This match was a perfect example of why we love this sport. It highlights that even outside the glitz and glamour of major tournaments like the World Cup or the Euros, football has an incredible power. It has the power to unite communities, to inspire a nation, and to create stories that become part of local folklore. It's about the shared passion, the collective highs and lows, and the beautiful, beautiful unpredictability of the game. You never know what's going to happen, and that's the magic of it. So, as the stadium lights dimmed and the last of the celebrating fans made their way home, one thing was crystal clear. St. Vincent 4, Cuba 2 was more than just a friendly match. It was a celebration of football in its purest form. It was a showcase of passion, a testament to hard work, and a reminder that every game, no matter the stage, has a story to tell. And that was our full breakdown of St. Vincent's stunning victory over Cuba. What a game! What a story! If you enjoyed this analysis and want to see more thrilling match highlights and football stories from every corner of the globe, make sure you hit that like button, share this video with a fellow football fan, and of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. What a night for football fans! If you love a good underdog story, you're in for a treat. Tonight, in what was supposed to be a quiet international friendly, we witnessed an absolute classic. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, playing in front of their passionate home crowd, pulled off a stunning 4-2 victory against Cuba. This wasn't just a friendly. It was a 6-goal thriller filled with drama, heart, and moments that will be talked about for a long, long time. From the first whistle, you could feel the electricity in the air. St. Vincent was determined to prove they belong on the international stage, while Cuba aimed to assert their dominance. What we got was 90 minutes of pure, non-stop action, incredible saves, and goals that sent the stadium into a frenzy. This was more than a game. This was a battle for national pride, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines delivered a performance for the ages. The match started at a blistering pace, with St. Vincent immediately on the front foot, fueled by the energy of their supporters. They pressed high, attacked with purpose, and it didn't take long for their efforts to pay off. In just the 12th minute, a brilliant counterattack down the right wing saw Marcus John cut inside. He took a touch, looked up, and unleashed a powerful low shot that flew past the Cuban goalkeeper. The stadium absolutely erupted, 1-0 to the home side. But they weren't finished there. Their midfield was on fire, winning every ball and pushing Cuba deeper and deeper into their own half. Then, in the 25th minute, they won a free kick just outside the box. The crowd held its breath as Cornelius Stewart stepped up. He struck the ball with perfect technique, curling it over the wall and into the top corner. An absolutely magnificent strike. 2-0. The home fans were in dreamland. Cuba, stunned by the early onslaught, looked shell-shocked. They struggled to find any rhythm as St. Vincent's defense stood firm, clearing every cross and blocking every shot. Just before halftime, the unthinkable happened again. In the 40th minute, after a scramble in the Cuban box from a corner, the ball fell to Olex Anderson. He reacted in a flash, smashing it into the back of the net. 3-0 at halftime. It was an explosive, dominant, and simply unbelievable first-half performance from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As the second half began, everyone wondered, could Cuba fight their way back? They came out with renewed purpose, determined to salvage some pride. They started controlling possession and creating chances. In the 55th minute, their pressure finally paid off. A lovely through ball split the St. Vincent defense, and their star striker, Luis Paradella, calmly slotted it home. 3-1. A glimmer of hope for the visitors. The game suddenly became tense. Cuba pushed forward, searching for another goal, while St. Vincent defended bravely, looking to hit on the counter. The atmosphere was electric, with every tackle and every pass met with roars from the crowd. Could St. Vincent hold on, or was a Cuban comeback on the cards? Just as Cuba was building momentum, St. Vincent struck the killer blow. In the 78th minute, with Cuba committing men forward, A long ball over the top found Alex Anderson in space. He raced towards the goal, kept his composure, and coolly finished past the onrushing keeper for his second of the night. 4-1. The celebration was wild. The players and fans knew they had sealed a historic victory. Cuba did manage to pull another goal back in the dying minutes, a consolation header from a corner making it 4-2, but it was too little, too late. The final whistle blew, confirming a monumental win for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The players fell to their knees in celebration, embracing each other, while the fans sang their hearts out. It was a night of pure joy, a testament to their hard work and fighting spirit. This wasn't just a friendly win, it was a statement to the world. What an incredible story! A true giant-killing performance that reminds us why we all love this beautiful game. Huge congratulations to St. Vincent and the Grenadines on a well-deserved and historic victory. What did you think of the match? Let me know your favorite moment in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more football stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Upbeat, energetic intro music fades slightly to the background. What an absolutely insane night of football we've just witnessed. If you're a fan of goals, drama, and non-stop action, then the friendly match between Gibraltar and New Caledonia was the place to be. Forget cagey, tactical battles. This was an all-out attacking masterclass that ended with a scoreline you have to see to believe. 12 goals. Yes, you heard that right. 12 goals in a single international match. Strap yourselves in, because we're about to break down one of the most chaotic and thrilling games of the year. The final whistle blew, and the scoreboard told a story of pure footballing madness. Gibraltar 5, New Caledonia 7. This wasn't just a friendly, it was a celebration of everything we love about the beautiful game. Two nations playing with complete freedom and heart, giving us a spectacle that will be talked about for years to come. It was a roller coaster of emotions, a match that swung back and forth, and ultimately a historic result. Let's start with Gibraltar. On one hand, you have to be thrilled with their performance going forward. Scoring 5 goals against any international side is a fantastic achievement. They showed real quality in the final third, and their attacking players were on fire. The standout performer, without a doubt, was their captain, the brilliant Ethan Martinez. The man was simply unplayable, bagging himself a sensational hat trick that sent the home crowd into a frenzy. Each goal was a moment of magic, showcasing his clinical finishing and leadership. He led by example, and his performance gave his team a real fighting chance in a match that could have easily gotten away from them. The attacking chemistry was there, the movement was sharp, and for large parts of the game they looked like they could score every time they went forward. However, football is a game of two halves and two ends of the pitch. For all of Gibraltar's attacking brilliance, their defensive frailties were laid bare. Conceding 7 goals at home is a tough pill to swallow, no matter the context. The defense just couldn't handle New Caledonia's relentless pressure. They were caught out of position too often, leaving gaping holes for the opposition to exploit. The backline seemed to struggle with the pace and intelligence of the New Caledonian forwards, and time again they were carved open. While they'll take immense pride in their 5 goals, the coaching staff will have a lot to analyze. It's a classic case of you score 5, we'll score 7. For Gibraltar, this match is a clear lesson. You can't outscore your defensive problems forever. They need to find that balance between their explosive attack and a more solid, organized defense if they want to turn these exciting performances into consistent wins. Now, let's turn our attention to the victors, New Caledonia. What a statement this was from them. Coming away from home and scoring 7 goals is a remarkable feat. This victory wasn't just a win. It was a declaration of their quality and ambition on the international stage. Their performance was defined by ruthless finishing, incredible composure, and an unbreakable spirit. Even after finding themselves 2 goals down early in the game, they never panicked. Instead, they dug deep, trusted their game plan, and fought their way back with style. This comeback demonstrated a mental fortitude that separates good teams from great ones. Their attacking depth was simply staggering. It's rare to see one hat trick in a game, but New Caledonia had two. Pierre Moala and Jean-Claude Wamitan were both absolutely lethal, each netting 3 goals in performances that will live long in the memory. Their movement, their link-up play, and their ice-cold finishing were a joy to watch. And as if that wasn't enough, Coma chipped in with a crucial double, proving that goal threats were coming from all over the pitch. Every time they streamed forward, they looked dangerous, and their ability to convert chances under pressure was the decisive factor in this match. This win will send a massive wave of confidence through their entire squad. In the end, this match was more than just a friendly. It was a festival of football. It was a pure, unadulterated spectacle that reminded every single fan why we are so passionate about this sport. We saw 12 goals, unbelievable drama, and 2 teams that left absolutely everything out on that pitch. The final score, Gibraltar 5, 7 New Caledonia, isn't just a result. It's a piece of footballing history. A match that will undoubtedly go down in international football folklore as one of the wildest ever played. And that wraps up our full highlight story of this unforgettable clash in the 2025-26 international friendlies. What a game! If you enjoyed this recap and want more thrilling football stories from every corner of the globe, please show some love by hitting that like button, sharing this video with a friend who needs to see this scoreline, and, most importantly, subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you for the next one. What a night of football! If you love goals, drama, and non-stop action, you've come to the right place. Welcome back to the channel, where today we're reliving every heart-stopping moment of the incredible UEFA World Cup qualifier between Finland and Lithuania. This wasn't just a match, it was an 8-goal thriller that had fans everywhere completely glued to their screens. From the very first whistle, you could feel the electricity in the air. Both teams came out with a clear intention: to attack, to score, and to win. Finland, playing with the hopes of a nation on their shoulders, were looking for a crucial victory. But Lithuania, they weren't there to just make up the numbers. They came to fight, and fight they did. The match started with a blistering pace, and it didn't take long for the deadlock to be broken. Finland struck first, sending their supporters into a frenzy, but the celebration was short-lived. Lithuania roared back, showcasing their own attacking flair and proving this was going to be a real battle. The first half was a whirlwind of action. Every time one team scored, the other seemed to respond almost immediately. It was like a heavyweight boxing match with both sides trading blows, refusing to back down. The momentum swung back and forth, and by the time the halftime whistle blew, fans were left breathless, trying to process the sheer number of goals and the incredible drama they had just witnessed. You just knew the second half was going to be something special. Both managers would have been in the dressing rooms frantically trying to adjust their tactics. How do you defend against this kind of offensive onslaught? How do you keep your team's spirits high when the game is this chaotic? As the second half kicked off, the tension was palpable. Finland came out looking to regain control, to impose their will on the game and secure the 3 points. They managed to find another gear, stringing together some beautiful passes and creating chance after chance. Their attacking players were on fire, moving with purpose and showing incredible clinical finishing in front of goal. They built a lead that looked for a moment like it might finally be decisive. But if we learned anything from the first half, it was that you can never, ever count Lithuania out. They dug deep, found a reserve of energy, and launched a comeback that had the Finnish defense scrambling. With every Lithuanian goal, you could feel the belief growing in their ranks. They were relentless, pushing forward, creating opportunities, and making this a true nail-biter right until the very end. For the Lithuanian fans, it was a performance filled with pride. Even in defeat, their team showed immense courage, heart, and a never-say-die attitude that defines what it means to be a fighter. They left everything out on that pitch. Ultimately, Finland's quality shone through. They managed to weather the storm and score the decisive goals that sealed the 5-3 victory. It was a statement performance for them, a massive result in their qualifying campaign that demonstrates their attacking power and their ability to handle pressure. What a spectacle! 8 goals, incredible comebacks, and passion from both sides. This match had everything a football fan could ask for. It was a reminder of why we love this game so much: its unpredictability, its drama, and the unforgettable moments it creates. Finland takes the victory, but Lithuania earns immense respect. Thanks for joining me to relive this amazing match. What was your favorite moment? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another highlight. We'll see you in the next one. What a start to this match, folks! Right from the opening whistle, you could feel the electricity in the air, and Finland came out absolutely blazing. Their game plan was simple, aggressive, and perfectly executed. Hit Lithuania hard and fast before they could even settle in. And boy, did it pay off! Just 10 minutes on the clock, and we witnessed a moment of pure genius. Finland's number 9, with incredible awareness, made a darting run in behind the defensive line. The pass that followed was a thing of beauty, a perfectly weighted through ball that sliced the defense wide open. With ice in his veins, he faced the keeper one-on-one and coolly slotted the ball into the corner of the net. 1-0 to Finland. The stadium absolutely erupted, a sea of blue and white celebrating a dream start. But Finland wasn't done. They could smell blood in the water and kept their foot on the gas. Just 5 minutes later, they were at it again. A blistering, lung-busting run down the right flank left the Lithuanian fullback for dead. The winger looked up, picked his spot, and delivered a sensational curling cross right into the danger zone. And who was there to meet it? The very same striker, rising like a salmon, who met the ball with ferocious power. His header was unstoppable, rocketing past the helpless goalkeeper and into the back of the net. 2-0, 2 goals in just 15 minutes. At this point, Lithuania looked completely shell-shocked. The players stood with their hands on their hips, staring at the scoreboard in disbelief. For their fans, it felt like a potential nightmare unfolding before their very eyes. Finland was in total control, dominating possession, and their attacks were a blur of speed, precision, and relentless pressure. It seemed like the floodgates were about to open, and we could be heading for a rout. But as any true football fan knows, this beautiful game is gloriously unpredictable. It's a game of momentum, of passion, and of heart. Just when you think a team is down and out, they can find a spark from somewhere, a flicker of hope. Lithuania, with their backs against the wall, knew they had a mountain to climb. But giving up? That wasn't in their DNA. The match was far from over, and a surprising twist was waiting just around the corner. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what happens next. If you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more epic football stories. Thanks for watching. Just when it seemed like Finland was about to steamroll their way to victory, something shifted. The tide turned, the momentum swung, and Lithuania roared back to life. You could almost feel the change in the air. Down 2-0, many teams would have crumbled, but not this Lithuanian side. They dug deep, tightened up their midfield, and started to press with a ferocity that caught Finland completely off guard. They weren't just playing defense anymore. They were on the hunt. The breakthrough, the moment that sparked the comeback, came in the 25th minute. It was a gift, really, a moment of madness from the Finnish defense. A sloppy, rushed clearance, the kind that makes a manager tear their hair out, fell perfectly to a lurking Lithuanian forward. He didn't hesitate, didn't think twice. He just leathered it. The ball rocketed past the keeper and bulged the back of the net. 2-1. The away fans erupted. A lifeline. That goal was pure adrenaline. It was like a switch was flipped. Suddenly, Lithuania was a different team. Their passes became crisp and incisive. Their movement off the ball was intelligent and energetic, and you could see the belief flooding back into their eyes. They were no longer just surviving, they were thriving. Finland, on the other hand, looked rattled. The confidence they had just minutes before was visibly draining away. Then, just 10 minutes later, the unthinkable happened. It was poetry in motion. A beautiful, slick 1-2 pass, the kind you practice 1,000 times on the training ground, just sliced right through the heart of the Finnish backline. It was so quick, so precise, the defenders were left looking at each other in confusion. The Lithuanian winger, now one-on-one with the keeper, was the coolest man in the stadium. He didn't panic. He just calmly opened up his body and slotted the ball into the far corner. 2-2. Utter pandemonium. The stadium was stunned into a mixture of shock and awe. Finland's blistering start, their 2-goal cushion, had vanished in the space of 10 breathtaking minutes. Lithuania had clawed their way back from the brink, showing incredible heart and resilience. The game was completely turned on its head. As the halftime whistle blew, the score was locked at 2-2, and you could feel the buzz of anticipation from every single fan. The first half was an absolute roller coaster, and it set the stage for an epic second half. This is why we love this game. Thanks for watching, everyone. What did you think of that incredible comeback? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more football action. See you in the next one. Upbeat, energetic music fades slightly into the background. All right, welcome back, everyone, to what has been an absolutely electric match. We're kicking off the second half, and the tension is palpable. Both teams are storming out of the tunnel, hungry to seize control of this game. Finland, after letting that 2-goal lead vanish, looks particularly determined. You can see it in their eyes. They know they have to come out stronger, and they are doing just that. And who else but the captain to lead the charge? It's the 50th minute, and he's got the ball about 30 yards out. He looks up, he sees the opening, and he just unleashes an absolute rocket. Oh my word, what a strike! The ball dips, it swerves, it's a thing of beauty, and it's in the back of the net. The keeper had no chance. Finland retakes the lead. It's 3-2. You can feel the stadium erupt. That goal is exactly what they needed. That spectacular goal has completely reignited Finland's fire. Suddenly, their confidence is soaring. The passing is sharper, the movement is crisper, and they are relentlessly pushing forward, searching for that crucial next goal. They're playing with a swagger now, pinning Lithuania back in their own half. The momentum has completely shifted. Lithuania is struggling to get a foot on the ball. They're chasing shadows as Finland dictates the pace of the game. Every attack looks dangerous, and you get the sense another goal is just around the corner. And there it is, the 65th minute, and a lightning-fast counterattack. Lithuania was caught completely off guard, pushing too many players forward. Finland breaks with incredible speed, 3-on-2. A beautiful, selfless pass is squared across the box, taking the goalkeeper completely out of the play. It's a simple tap-in, an easy finish to a brilliant team move. Finland extends their lead to 4-2. The teamwork, the vision, the execution. Absolutely textbook. It feels like they might have just put this game to bed. But hold on a second. Just when you think it's over, Lithuania proves they're not done yet. We've got about 15 minutes left on the clock, and they've won a corner. The delivery is perfect, whipped right into the danger zone. It's chaos in the box. Bodies are flying everywhere, a frantic scramble ensues. The ball is bouncing around like a pinball, and amidst the confusion, the Lithuanian striker manages to bundle it over the line. It's 4-3. The comeback is back on. The tension is right back, and this place is absolutely buzzing. Could they possibly do it? The clock is ticking down, hearts are in throats, but Finland has the final say. In the 85th minute, their young rising star, a player we've been talking about all season, decides to produce a moment of pure magic. He picks up the ball on the edge of the area, a little shimmy. He dribbles past one defender, then another with sublime skill. He creates a yard of space and unleashes a low, powerful shot right into the bottom corner. Goal! That is a world-class finish to seal the deal. 5-3 to Finland. What an incredible conclusion to an unforgettable match. Thank you all for joining us for this roller coaster of a game. If you enjoyed the action, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a moment. We'll see you next time. Football is a game of moments, a roller coaster of emotions, and true champions always find a way to rise when it matters most. For Saudi Arabia, this match was a testament to their unyielding spirit. Wounded after conceding the lead, but far from broken, they began the arduous task of regrouping. You could see the shift in their strategy. They started to slow the game down, patiently wrestling back control of the midfield, that crucial battleground where matches are won and lost. With regained composure, they began to push forward, throwing everything they had at the Indonesian defense. Every player, from the defenders to the strikers, was committed to one goal: turning the tide. The tension was palpable. The crowd held its breath with every attack, and then, in the 70th minute, that persistence, that sheer force of will, finally paid off. A beautifully weighted cross whipped in from the right flank, sailing perfectly towards the box. It was a moment of magic. Their towering striker, a beacon of hope for the team, soared into the air, rising above a sea of defenders. With incredible power and precision, he connected with the ball, powering a header straight into the back of the net. 3-3. The stadium erupted. The Saudi fans, who had been on a knife's edge, exploded in a wave of relief and pure ecstasy. The game was back in the balance. With 20 minutes left on the clock, we all knew we were in for a finale of pure, unadulterated football drama. The final stretch of the match was absolute chaos in the best way possible. Both teams, fueled by adrenaline and the roar of the crowd, threw everything they had into one last, desperate push for victory. There was no holding back. Indonesia's goalkeeper turned into a superhero, making one heroic save after another, diving left and right, a seemingly impenetrable wall keeping his team's hopes alive. At the other end, Saudi Arabia's defense was under immense pressure, putting their bodies on the line to block a barrage of desperate shots as Indonesia relentlessly surged forward. It was a nail-biting battle of attrition, a chess match played at 100 miles an hour, where every single pass, every tackle, and every ticking second could decide the fate of the game. And then, in the 85th minute, just when it seemed like extra time was inevitable, Saudi Arabia showcased the class and pedigree that defines a champion. It was poetry in motion. A series of quick, incisive passes, a beautiful team move that sliced through the Indonesian defense like a hot knife through butter. 1-2s, clever runs, perfect timing, it all came together in a breathtaking sequence. The final ball was played through, the striker was one-on-one, and with a cool, calm finish, the ball rolled gently into the back of the net. Goal! The stadium absolutely exploded. Saudi Arabia 4, Indonesia 3. The comeback was complete. The Saudi players, overcome with emotion, sprinted to the corner flag, piling on top of each other in a joyous celebration. In stark contrast, the Indonesian players who had fought so valiantly sank to their knees, the heartbreak etched on their faces. It was a moment that perfectly captured the beautiful cruelty of football. What an unbelievable, unforgettable match. Thank you so much for watching this incredible football story unfold with us. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more thrilling sports content, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. We'll see you in the next one. What an absolutely insane football match we just witnessed. If you thought international friendlies were boring, think again, because Gibraltar versus New Caledonia has just delivered one of the most chaotic and thrilling halves of football you will ever see. The action kicked off at a blistering pace, and it was the home side, Gibraltar, who came out swinging. Just 6 minutes into the game, their captain, the main man, Ethan Martinez, connected beautifully with a cross, smashing the ball into the back of the net. The stadium erupted. 1-0 to Gibraltar, and you could feel the confidence surging through the team. It looked like they were on track for a comfortable home victory. And then, believe it or not, it got even better for them. Only 7 minutes later, in the 13th minute, a costly defensive mistake from New Caledonia left the door wide open. Luis Alvarez was there to punish them, pouncing on the error and coolly slotting it home. 2-0. Gibraltar was cruising, and New Caledonia looked completely shell-shocked, stunned by the early onslaught. At this point, you'd be forgiven for thinking the game was already over. But this is where football works its magic. Instead of letting their heads drop and crumbling under the pressure, New Caledonia ignited. They woke up and decided to fight back with everything they had. The comeback started in the 20th minute. A perfect cross came into the box and Jean-Claude Wamitan rose highest, directing a brilliant header past the keeper. 2-1. Game on. You could feel the shift in momentum instantly. The visitors weren't done there. They kept pushing, and just 5 minutes later, they were level. Another swift, decisive attack sliced through the Gibraltar defense, and this time it was Pierre Moala who found himself in front of goal. He showed incredible composure, finishing calmly to make it 2-2. The game had been completely flipped on its head in the space of just 5 minutes. From a comfortable 2-goal lead, Gibraltar was suddenly back on level terms. The drama, however, was far from over. This first half was a seesaw of attacking brilliance. In the 34th minute, Gibraltar's hero of the hour, Ethan Martinez, stepped up again. He bagged his second goal of the match, restoring Gibraltar's lead and sending the home fans into a frenzy once more. 3-2. Surely now they could hold on until halftime. But New Caledonia simply refused to be beaten. With just 5 minutes left in the half, they mounted yet another charge. And who else but Pierre Moala to provide the finishing touch? He grabbed his brace, equalizing for the second time in the match in the 40th minute. The whistle blew for halftime with the scoreboard reading an unbelievable 3-3. 6 goals in 40 minutes. Fans were already on their feet, calling it one of the most entertaining and unpredictable friendly matches in recent memory. This game had everything: early dominance, a stunning comeback, and end-to-end action that left everyone breathless. What a spectacle. This is what we love about the beautiful game. If you enjoyed this recap of an absolutely wild first half, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our breakdown of the second half. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.